Welcome to Shor Machshava and the Daf. Shir Zalui Nishmas, my grandfather, Rabbi Yaakov Yosef ben Tzvi Hirsch Dallinger, whose yortzeit is 28th of Tishrei. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Lamed Vov. The Gemara in Amud Aleph says, how do I know what Rabbi Yehuda said, the Machsheves Hinu'ach, just thinking of leaving blood for the next day, is already poisel a korban? So the Gemara says there's two psukim. One pasuk says, Lo yisasir menu ad boiker, and another pasuk says, Lo yaniach menu ad boker. So the second pasuk teaches you the Machsheves Hinu'ach. So I asked the Gemara, but you still need the pasuk for other drashas. Answers the Gemara, Im ken leima kol lo yisasiru, mai lo yaniach. Why did the Torah use the lashon, the language lo yaniach? The Torah should have used the language lo yisasiru, like the first pasuk. Why are we changing the language to lo yaniach? So from here you learn Machsheves Hinu'ach. Now the simple understanding is that it's just a change of a lashon. Like many times we find in Shas, why did the Torah change a lashon? The fact that it changed the lashon, that itself tells me that we try to teach you something. We try to teach you the Machsheves Hinu'ach is a problem. But we find here Biurim that it's not only the change of the lashon, but the fact that we're using the word yaniach, that tells me that it's something that has to do with machshava. So the Shita Mekubetzes over here explains, because the word lo yisiru is a lashon of achila. For example, we find by Dosan Ma'avir that it says vayusiru anoshim mimenu ad boiker, which means they left it to eat it the next day. So we talk about eating. They did not eat it today; they ate it only the next day. So lo yisiru means eat it. Lo yisiru, don't eat it after the time that you're not supposed to eat it. But the word lo yaniach, mashra loshon hatzno, putting it aside. Like the pasuk says, vaynichu b'mishmar. So it's not referring to eating, just referring to putting aside. So what is referring to? Machsheves Hinu'ach. Meaning, not just the fact that we changed the loshon, but the fact that we're not using a loshon has to do with achila, tells me we're talking about Machsheves Hinu'ach. That's what the Shita Mekubetzes says over here in the name of Rabbeinu Peretz. And the Sefer Rosh Mizbeach, he says he adds more to it. He says that's not only that, but the idea of Hanacha means machshava, as opposed to noisa, which doesn't mean machshava. The raya is, it says Vayivosser Yaakov levadoi. Doesn't mean that he intended to be alone, but so happens to be that he stayed alone. Or the pasuk says after they collected for the Mishkan, there was leftover. They didn't intend to have leftover, but that's what happened to be. It was no machshava over there. But lashon Hanacha is with machshava. Because it says lashon hanochas hamatos, that says by Moshe Rabbeinu. It says v'tanach bigdo yetzlo. Eshes Potiphar put the clothing aside to show her husband. And he says this all goes in the pasuk. It says in the pasuk, in Parshas Haman, al yosei menu ad boiker, don't leave things to the next day, meaning even without kavana. And then it says regarding on Friday, it's kol ha'edef hoidef hanichu for the next day with kavana. I want you to intend to leave from Friday to Shabbos the month. And the Losh of the Gemara Mitzia, Sofek Hinu'ach, Sofek if he put it down, you're Bekavana. Similar idea is brought down the Sefer Keser Kehuno, which was written on the Sifri in Parshas Chukas. So he brings a drasha to tell me the Hiniach is Mishesh Bridas Laniach. It has to be an adult, not a katan. And he brings the Vilna Goin that says Hiniach B'chutz Hamachne. What do you say? Hiniach B'chutz Hamachne, what does it teach you? That it has to be someone who has das. Adds the Sefer Keser Kehuno that in the language of Lashon HaKodesh, or in Hebrew, when you say the word Hanacha, Hanacha means a certain understanding. If we have this Hanacha, this is what this means, what Hanacha means, that's how we understand something. So you see that Hanacha has to do with Machshav, something the way you think. So you may say the Rosh Mizbeach and the Keser Kehuno, have to try in our Gemara. And our Gemara, the Gemara says, it doesn't say Lo Yisasiru, which means you just left it there. It says Lo Yaniach. Lo Yaniach means with Kavana. Means a machshava. So machshava means that he has a Machsheves Hinu'ach. That's the raya of our Gemara. And adds the Rosh Mizbeach that the Rambam in Psula Mizbeach writes that someone who's moisir, he creates something which is a noise, it doesn't get malchus, because it's lav anita klase. So ask the Kesef Mishnah, why not lav anita klase? Just say it's lav shein b'maise. There's no maise if you leave it overnight. So he says, based on what he explains in our Gemara, the lo yaniach means don't have a machshava to leave it overnight. So when he puts it aside to leave it overnight, that's a ma'aseh. he is putting it aside. He's not eating it, putting it aside with machshava. It's his ma'aseh to leave it aside. So there is a ma'aseh over here. So the reason the Rambam has to tell me you don't get malchus is because it's nita class A. You see, the Gemara is not just saying, oh, we should have used this word instead of this word. It's intentionally using the word that means a machshava, and that's what we learn, Machsheves Hinu'ach, according to the Havamir of the Gemara. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Show Machshava Shiurim, please email showmachshava@gmail.com.